Rain drummed against the fogged windows of the Crenshaw Historical Hotel, a relic from the 20s that wore its age like a faded badge. At midnight, the old grandfather clock in the lobby groaned out the arrival of the new year, echoing in empty halls and muttering promises best left unspoken. Detective Lena Knox hated parties as much as she loved puzzles. The hotel's ritzy masquerade was no exception, too many masks hiding too many secrets. She prowled the edge of the ballroom, eyes sweeping over guests adorned in silk, velvet, and feathers. Beneath fireworks dazzling the city skyline outside, champagne spilled as laughter danced over the parquet floor, temporarily drowning out the low hum of dread Lena carried with her. She checked her watch, 12:11 a.m. That's when the lights cut out. The merrymaking snapped to silence, replaced by panicked whispers. Candlelight flickered from candelabra as the emergency generators kicked in, throwing eerie shadows around the ornate room. Someone moved in the darkness. A scream. Sharp. Female. Lena's instincts jerked her toward the hallway, just beyond the ballroom. Guests parted and shrank against the walls, revealing a young woman. Victoria Stanton, heiress to a tech empire, collapsed on the crimson runner, mask askew. Blood pooled, catching the flicker of candlelight. Her diamond necklace lay, snapped beside her. Above, a splatter stained the otherwise pristine wallpaper. As hotel security scrambled, Lena fired questions, eyes darting to suspicious faces. Victoria had bragged all week about her priceless necklace, and rumors about rivalry swirled. The guests, captive in the locked-down hotel, looked at each other. Stranger suddenly meant threat. The clock ticked to 12:17. An older gentleman, Mr. Harrington, fumbled through the crowd, desperately searching for his cane. Strange, Lena remembered him entering without one. A nervous bartender confessed that she'd seen someone duck into the staff stairwells minutes before the blackout, a flash of gold mask reflecting in the gloom. Lena trailed the lead, creeping into the back passages. The hotel, she realized, had more secrets than just its aging masonry. Doorways led to hidden rooms, old service corridors that zigzagged between ballrooms and suites. In a shuttered pantry, she found a gold mask glinting in the weak light, flecks of blood across the cheek. The masked figure, revealed to be Arthur Yeo, tech blogger with a scandalous grudge, lunged for an exit, but Lena cornered him against a stack of dusty crates. He stammered out a confession: jealousy, unrequited love, resentment over a forgotten betrayal in a deal gone sour. The evidence stacked, the motive clear. Lena marched him back to the main hall as security wrestled the shocked guests into uneasy calm. By 1 a.m., the storm outside began to break, fracturing the tension inside. Police arrived, Victoria's life saved by rapid intervention, but forever changed. The necklace, it turned out, was a fake, another twist for the tabloids. The true horror of the night wasn't just blood spilled in celebration, but how quickly trust could dissolve in a crowd, how masks could hide more than just faces. As dawn crept over the city, Lena watched the remaining guests, bruised by fear and suspicion, disperse into the gray morning. The case was solved, but the real mystery remained. What other darkness waited to be revealed beneath the glitter and noise of New Year's Eve? The snow clung to the tall windows of the Wilkes Manor like claws, throwing jagged shadows across the great hall where the New Year's Eve party raged on. Everyone was dressed to kill, glittering in the light, sipping champagne, but the mood was electric, a little too electric. Cassie, the ever-suspicious event planner with a knack for trouble, had her eyes everywhere. She'd noticed strange invitations circulated to people no one seemed to know. As midnight approached, the crowd thickened, and a heavy fog rolled in off the river. The host, enigmatic Camden Wilkes, famous for his morbid jokes and love of thrill, insisted on killing the lights for the final countdown. Guests crowded close, laughter mixing with whispers. But Cassie's unease spiked as she looked at the crumpled invitation in her hand. Was that blood on the corner or wine? The lights flickered out. Darkness ate the room. The crowd roared, counting down 10, 9, 8, until the sound was slashed by a piercing scream. The lights snapped back on. Near the food table, a party-goer lay sprawled, eyes fixed on a chandelier, throat slashed deep and red. Panic surged. Cassie pressed through the screaming crowd, her eyes scanning for Camden. But he was gone. Security sealed the building. Phones dead jammed. Cassie rallied the guests, her crime-buff instincts kicking in. Who had seen the victim last? Drowned in horror and martinis. Memories were foggy, except for Simone, the sommelier, who pointed out the dark-haired stranger who'd arrived alone. No one could recall his name. His invitation was different. Rough paper, wrong logo. Someone had crashed the party. Cassie led the way into the kitchen, where she found a trail of bloody footprints smeared across the marble. The stranger, shaky but armed with a knife, cornered Camden near the walk-in freezer. Cassie, thinking fast, seized a heavy brass candlestick and made a noise. The stranger spun wild-eyed. "He deserves it," he spat, "for what happened last New Year." Through jagged confessions, the truth unraveled. Last year, a drunk Camden had sent a prank invitation to a ghost story fanatic, who never came home that night. The stranger was his grieving brother, seeking final revenge. Cassie dodged, adrenaline screaming, and swung the candlestick. It connected, sending the would-be killer tumbling. She restrained him with a silk scarf, improvising a knot. As police finally arrived, the clock struck midnight, fireworks blooming outside while inside. Terror's confetti settled in the air. The Wilkes Manor was silent now, the party shattered. Cassie's reporter mind buzzed with the story unfolding. A midnight horror, a vengeful ghost, and the kind of New Year's twist you never wish on your worst enemies. The clock in the grand, old mansion struck 10 to midnight, and the guests at Evelyn Montrose's New Year's Eve bash toasted their glasses, oblivious to the storm brewing outside. The wind howled, banging ancient shutters, flickering the crystal chandelier's light across the marble floors. Everyone was in glitter and smiles, except for Detective Miles Creed, who preferred shadows to spotlights and coffee over champagne. Miles was only there as a favor to his childhood friend, Evelyn, but his instincts had already started to itch. The guest list was a constellation of local notorieties: the cunning lawyer, the quiet pianist, the volatile chef, and Evelyn's mysterious new beau, Adriano, a man whose charm seemed to mask a secret. Chatter filled the ballroom as the countdown began. The power flickered again. Miles noticed Adriano, lips pressed close to Evelyn's ear, slipping something into her pocket with sleight of hand worthy of a magician. The detective's gaze was interrupted when the lights went out entirely, plunging the room into darkness. A shriek split the night, a woman's voice, panicked and sharp. Screams erupted, glass shattered, and the crowd surged towards the exits, but the heavy doors refused to budge. Locked. The storm battered the mansion, drowning out prayers and curses alike. Miles stumbled in the dark, using his phone's pale glow to search for the source of the scream. In the conservatory, he found Chef Leo, blood trickling down his temple, slumped by the broken window. Plant pots lay shattered around him, and his chef's jacket, usually pristine, was smeared with soil and something darker. Leo croaked, "He's here for Evelyn. Don't let him," before collapsing again, unconscious. Racing back, Miles found Evelyn missing. Adriano was gone, too. The other guests gathered, wild-eyed, blaming one another, whispering about old grudges and petty jealousies. Miles orchestrated a frantic search, delegating groups to sweep each room, his detective's mind piecing together obscure motives as he went. The pianist, Pettia, confessed she'd overheard Adriano making a call about a rare Montrose heirloom rumored to be hidden in the mansion, a diamond-encrusted locket missing for generations. The lawyer, Sutton, insisted Evelyn had received threatening letters, but refused to show them. Miles knew the clues were slipping through his fingers like the confetti that would soon fall. Suddenly, thunder cracked and the lights flickered back on, revealing a trail of muddy footprints leading to the wine cellar. Miles, heart pounding, descended the cold stone staircase. At the bottom, in glimmer of emergency lights, he found Evelyn tied to a barrel, Adriano pacing, holding a gun and the infamous locket. "You really are relentless, Creed," Adriano snarled. "Step back, or your friend doesn't live to see the new year." Evelyn, ever composed, kicked the barrel. Its contents spilled over the floor, and Adriano slipped, dropping the weapon. Miles launched himself, pinning the criminal to the ground before cuffing him with borrowed champagne wire. As midnight struck, fireworks rose from the garden. Only the remaining guests above knew nothing of the cellar's drama. Evelyn, bruised but whole, hugged Miles as he led them back into the revelry, her secret heirloom clutched tightly. The party roared on, confetti rained and laughter echoed, but for some, the true horror of the night lingered like a crack in champagne glass, sharp, dangerous, nearly invisible, waiting for the next midnight.